Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
One woman is dead and more than 20 others hurt in a shooting after the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade.
People were saying guns, police, run, and at that moment it just clicked.
Hear from a man who was there when the crowd ran to take shelter. He talks about the life of his friend that was taken in the shooting.
You're looking live at breaking news on the north side of Raleigh this morning. A crash that took out a utility pole and has closed a major section of Creedmoor Road. We'll tell you how to get around that mess.
And our temperatures are still chilly in places, starting off in the 30s and then warming up nicely this afternoon. The wind will play a part in that. I'll show you why temperatures will be so far above normal.
Early voting gets underway today for the March 5th primary. Coming up, the one thing that you need to make sure you have before you head to an early voting site.
Thank you so much for joining us on your Thursday morning, your sunny, chilly Thursday morning. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, thanks for making us part of your day here Thursday, Friday Eve. We're looking towards the weekend. We're going to get past these couple of days, though. Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with that cool start. Yes, a little wind, but a lot of sunshine today, too.
That wind is going to help to push some warm air into the region, and that's going to allow us to warm up about 10 degrees above normal this afternoon. We do have some high, thin cloud cover out there right now. It's showing up especially here in Durham. We're not going to see that having much of an impact on our weather today. It'll be mostly sunny for the bulk of the day. Right now, it's 40 degrees in the Triangle. Our wind's currently southeast, but it will be switching to southwest this afternoon. And as that wind picks up, it'll start to push more warmth into the area. Still a few spots at freezing this morning. Right now, 32 in Goldsboro, 33 South Hill, and 32 in Roxborough. But we've climbed to 40 in the Triangle, and we're near 40 in Fayetteville, too. It's going to be a breezy afternoon. This morning, the winds have been nice and light, but by lunchtime, looking at winds at 10 to 15 out of the southwest, gusting to 25, and that's what's going to help to push some of that warmth into our area. So it's a cool start this morning, but we climb into the mid-60s this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow will be nice and mild as well, but we're cooler over the weekend thanks to a front that'll also bring a few showers. I'll show you the timeline coming up. Brian?
Elizabeth, it is 8:02 right now. I want to get right to live pictures from Sky 5 over Creedmoor Road near North Falls Drive. This is all north of 540, where we had a crash this morning that damaged a utility pole, and now the repair work continues to get all of that fixed. Duke Energy crews are out there repairing that pole, getting the lines cleared out of the road. It looks like it may be a while, though, before that section of Creedmoor Road reopens there on the north side of Raleigh. And, of course, Creedmoor Road is a major artery as you come in from the north side of Raleigh down toward 540. You can see where they're getting ready to hoist that utility pole into the air and get it in the ground here. Hopefully they can get this reopened here in the next hour or so. I'm going to take you to the map and show you exactly what section of Creedmoor Road we're talking about. That is just north of 540 as you head up toward Norwood Road. The best alternate route this morning to get between 540 and North Raleigh is going to be Six Forks Road. However, of course, the southbound lanes are the busiest in the morning commute, and we have some huge delays there heading away from Norwood Road down toward Mount Vernon Church Road. Also, Mount Vernon Church Road is backing up badly heading toward Six Forks Road, so you need to be patient coming in from North Raleigh this morning down toward 540. Another trouble spot that we've been watching for a while is over in Knightdale, 87 southbound between the Bethlehem Road Bridge and the 540 interchange there in the distance. One minor crash over here on the right shoulder, creating some huge backups this morning. Latest sensor reading doesn't look that bad, but I've kind of been seeing these numbers switching back and forth. I'd say it's probably between a 10 and 15 minute delay overall as you come in from the Wendell Falls Parkway area back toward 540. As we take a look at it on the map, you can see the reds and yellows there indicating that slow traffic. If you can pick up 87 southbound from 540, you're in good shape heading out toward Hodge Road and beyond. Coming in from Wendell, you might consider using Pool Road as a good alternate route to avoid that altogether. Let's take a look at your major approaches into Raleigh as we get started here in the 8 o'clock hour. About a 6-minute delay on US 1 northbound coming in from Apex through Cary, and about an 11-minute delay on southbound Capitol Boulevard as you head in from Wake Forest toward the 540 interchange. I'm getting reports of a crash that could be blocking some lanes out at South Saunders Street at I-40 this morning, so keep that in mind on the south side of Raleigh. Quick check of your major approaches into Durham. They're looking okay so far. About a 2-minute delay on 40 eastbound between 15501 heading out toward 885. If you're getting ready to head out, when you get in the car, turn on the radio and listen to our live newscast at 99.3 FM in Raleigh, 96.5 FM in Durham. Another traffic update coming up in a few minutes.
And Brian, as you know, that 87 Nightdale spot, it was troublesome overnight as well. We saw some delays there this morning right now, but this is after a truck crashed through a guardrail there. It was closed for a moment. This was the scene from the WRAL breaking news tracker around 4 o'clock this morning near Hodge Road. Troopers say the truck crossed the median and crashed through the guardrail on the other side of the road, but no one was injured.
A day that was supposed to be full of celebration for Kansas City Chiefs fans turned into panic and chaos. And this morning, the big question is still why. We are learning more about the shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade that left one person dead and more than 20 others hurt, including 11 children. Police say they have detained 3 people in connection with the shooting. They have not officially announced any arrests or charges. And the FBI has set up a website asking for tips and videos from people who witnessed the shooting.
And Michelle, the woman who died in that shooting was Lisa Lopez Galvan. She was a DJ at a local Kansas City radio station. A friend who spoke with CNN said Lopez Galvan was a mother and several members of her family were among the people who were hurt in the shooting.
I know she's a mother, and that gives me chills to think about that type of loss in my own family, or for us not returning to my wife.
In a statement on Facebook, the radio station where Lopez Galvan worked said this senseless act has taken a beautiful person from her family and this KC community. Coming up in 10 minutes, the renewed call for stricter gun legislation in the aftermath of the shooting. And in the next half hour, the guy who tackled a person with a gun moments after those shots started talks about what was going through his mind.
Breaking news here at home. A driver who led troopers on a high-speed chase in Raleigh that ended with a fiery crash on I-540 is facing at least 1 felony charge. The trooper leading the investigation gave us that update just before 1 o'clock this morning. That crash happened near the Buffalo Road exit at around 11 o'clock last night. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on the scene shortly after it happened. The trooper tells us the chase started when he clocked the driver going 95 miles an hour. The speeding car then went off the side of I-540 and into the trees. The driver was taken to the hospital but was not badly hurt. And after several weeks of issues, including protests and school days lost, Durham school employees are meeting with the school board. They are hoping to come up with solutions in this ongoing pay dispute. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is in Durham this morning. Kelsey, parents, school leaders, and employees, they are all hopeful an agreement can be reached.
Michelle, exactly. The Durham Association of Educators may be one step closer to getting what they want. They requested to meet with the school board about these ongoing pay issues, and today that meeting will be happening here at the Staff Development Center. There have been multiple protests and 4 days of no school for students this past month. Workers are trying to bring attention to these pay issues. Board Chair Bettina Umstead spoke at a news conference yesterday. She explained keeping the July through January raises is not financially sustainable. It's $9 million over budget. State data shows public school enrollment is declining, and that means less funding.
We know that the state has not funded public education in the way that it should. And so all of the energy that in Durham is excited to go to the state and advocate for a state budget that fully funds public schools.
Today's meeting is scheduled for today at 5:30, and the board will not be meeting again about creating a long-term solution for these pay issues until next week. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Early voting gets underway today for the March 5th primary election. WRAL's Brett Neese explains a few things voters need to know before casting their ballot.
Tally Student Union here on NC State's campus is one of 13 early voting sites across Wake County. Of course, there's plenty more depending on which county you live in, but you want to make sure that you check with your polling site on whether or not they are open from certain times, certain days here ahead of the March 5th primary. Another thing you want to make sure that you have before you go to the polls is your valid driver's license or some other form of valid photo voter ID. That's brand new this year for voters here in North Carolina. And whether you're registered as a Republican or Democrat or unaffiliated, every registered voter can vote here in the March 5th primary. If you are registered as a Republican or a Democrat, you'll have to vote in that party's primary. But if you're registered as an unaffiliated voter, you can choose which primary you want to vote in. Of course, we have a complete voter guide for you right now on our website at WRAL.com. In Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
Members of Congress and the Biden administration are meeting with intelligence and defense officials today about what's being called a serious national security threat. This is a live look now at the U.S. Capitol. Multiple sources say the threat relates to Russia's space capabilities. Specifically, it involves a nuclear anti-satellite system. The head of the House Intelligence Committee is calling on President Biden to declassify details about the threat so they can discuss an appropriate response.
10 after 8 on your Thursday, artificial intelligence is bringing to life the voices of those killed by gun violence. Coming up, how families are using the technology in their fight to change our nation's gun laws.
And a privately built spacecraft is on its way to the moon. Just ahead, see images of the latest moon landing mission and why NASA says it'll make history.
I don't think anybody's ready for this. We're starting to see the pollen counts creep up just a little bit. We'll take a look at Jeff's over there right now. We'll show you when we normally see that happening coming up.
"8:13 is the time right now on your Thursday morning. We have some thin clouds up there and not as much wind right now as we see a live look of Wilson. Right now, the Whirly Gig Park right there as you watch WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. You know, all that can change in a moment. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. It's been an up and down kind of week.
It has. Those whirligigs were awfully still right now. Now, later this afternoon, we'll see some gusts up to around 25 miles per hour. Those whirligigs are going to start to spin. That wind is going to start to push some warmer air in, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine to go along with it. This morning, there have been a few places, like right now, taking a look at Goldsboro and Apex, you can see some high, thin cloud cover. A little bit of that showing up in Chapel Hill as well. But for the most part, we're going to experience a good bit of sunshine for today. And with a southerly wind, it will warm up pretty quickly. We have winds right now steady out of the southeast at about 8 miles per hour in Durham and Raleigh, but no gusts yet. It's not likely that the wind will start to pick up until much later this afternoon. Notice by noon, we're at 12, by 2 o'clock, 15. So we're going to be 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest this afternoon with some gusts up to 25 miles per hour, and that's going to usher in some warmth. The next system that we're watching is going to reverse everything and cool us off again. Behind Saturday's front, we'll see some cooler temperatures. With the front, early Saturday morning, we'll see a little bit of light patchy rain, but the model runs that we keep getting in are consistently shrinking that timeline and the amounts of rain that we may see. Here's that front. It is getting ready to cross the Mississippi Valley right now without much rain with it. Tomorrow, we'll see a warm front crossing the area. It's going to keep things mild for us. The cold front swings through during the morning on Saturday. It will bring just a little bit of rain with it and some snow to the mountains during the day on Saturday. It might end up being a really nice weekend to hit the ski slopes. You never know how much longer that's going to last this time of year. At 4 o'clock on Friday, we'll switch gears here to our high resolution model. Looking at partly cloudy skies for us on Friday. We'll likely see a few scattered showers up near the Virginia line from 9 to maybe midnight or so. And then first thing Saturday morning, we'll see this little line of showers that rolls through between 5 and 7. And then that's going to be the end of it. And then we'll see clearing skies during the afternoon. But our temperatures will start to drop. You can almost watch the flow of the clouds coming out of the north. It's going to be a cooler afternoon. How much rain Saturday? I mean, not much. It's likely to be less than 1/10 of an inch. This is going to be in and out pretty quickly. For most of us, it shouldn't really have an impact on our Saturday. If you're one of those early morning, long run kinds of people, you might end up with a little bit of light patchy rain. But other than that, we're looking dry. A few snow showers in the mountains. And boy, if you're headed up to West Virginia or Northern Virginia, you may end up with some snow late Friday into early Saturday. Around here, we're just looking at a 20% chance of some quick light rain Saturday, but behind it, it's cool. A high of 55 on Saturday and 54 on Sunday. After that, we're warmer. Coming up, we'll take a look at predictions for the end of the month of February. Coming up, Brian.
8:16 right now. Sky 5 still over the scene of that breaking news on the north side of Raleigh. A crash that has closed Creedmoor Road right around North Falls Drive, which is just north of 540. You can see the problem here, that damaged utility pole. Duke Energy crews are on the scene with a new pole. It's going to be a while before they're able to get that back in the ground. All of those wires up on that pole and everything reopened out there on Creedmoor Road. So you need to plan on a detour this morning. Let's take you to the map and show you the best options for you as you get between 540 and the north side of Raleigh. Six Forks probably is going to be your best bet here for the next little while, but be prepared for some very slow traffic on the southbound side of Six Forks Road as you approach the Mount Vernon Church Road intersection. Also, Mount Vernon Church Road is backing up pretty badly. You can see some of the delays there on the north side of that closure there on Creedmoor Road between Norwood down toward North Falls. So give yourself plenty of extra time time there. Maybe another couple of hours before things get reopened out there on Creedmoor Road. Let's take you out to 87 at Bethlehem Road in Knightdale. We still have one vehicle on the right shoulder from that earlier crash. Looking a little better, though, on our delay readings right now. About an 8-minute backup overall from 64 Business out to 440. Still a situation where if you can pick it up from 540, you're on the other side of all that. We have lingering delays between Wendell Falls Parkway out toward the Bethlehem Road Bridge. Just getting reports of a crash on 40 eastbound leaving Hillsboro, heading down toward the New Hope Church Road interchange there toward Chapel Hill. We're measuring some delays there on that eastbound side of I-40. Also seeing some backups on northbound 85 leaving Hillsboro, heading toward Durham. About a 5-minute delay there. Look out for slowdowns on 885 northbound between Cornwallis and TW Alexander.
Thanks, Brian. President Biden says the shooting at the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City should move, shock, and shame the country into action. In a statement, he asked the country to make their voices heard in Congress, to ban assault weapons, limit high-capacity magazines, and strengthen background checks. Vice President Kamala Harris made a similar statement to reporters last night.
The reality of it is a lot of this can be prevented if members of legislators, including the United States Congress, just have the courage to act.
Police say they have recovered a gun that was used in the shooting, but have not said what type of gun it is or how the shooter may have gotten it.
People are using artificial intelligence to try to get lawmakers to create stricter gun laws. The voices of people who died as a result of gun violence are being restored by AI. Ted Linder explains their new messages begin used to target politicians who oppose tougher gun laws.
Haunting but powerful. Artificial intelligence is recreating the many voices of those killed by gun violence in an effort to help prevent more lives from being taken.
Because our stories need to be heard, and who better to tell them than us?
Voices like that of Joaquin Oliver, who was one of the 17 people murdered 6 years ago at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Hello, I'm Joaquin Oliver. 6 years ago, I was a senior at Parkland. Many students and teachers were murdered on Valentine's Day that year by a person using an AR-15. But you don't care. You never did.
Joaquin's parents are now using the AI messages to robocall lawmakers nationwide, who they say support the National Rifle Association and oppose tougher gun laws.
The same stats and nothing changes.
They hope the new campaign will put more pressure on Congress to ban AR-15 style semi-automatic rifles, like the one used to kill their son.
We have nothing to lose here, okay? I mean, we already lost everything.
But the Olivers aren't alone. Other families, including that of one of the 4 people killed at a Tennessee Waffle House in 2018, and that of one of the 21 people slain at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, are also robocalling politicians with the AI voices of their loved ones.
It's been 6 years and you've done nothing. Not a thing to stop all the shootings that have continued to happen since.
Because the campaign is being run indefinitely through the Shotline website, even more families of gun violence victims will be able to add the recreated voices of their relatives going forward.
That was Ted Linder reporting.
We're going to get some new information this morning about a stabbing outside a Raleigh Walmart. This was the scene outside the store on New Bern Avenue. Raleigh police responded just after 9 last night to the report of that stabbing. Police were also called to Wedgwood Drive, about 2 miles away from the Walmart. That's where they found a man with a stab wound. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Police did not say what led up to the stabbing or if they've made any arrests in the case.
New this morning, a second attempt at landing a privately built spacecraft on the moon is on its way.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go IM-1. And
a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying the lander called Odysseus took off from Cape Canaveral just after 1 o'clock this morning. A company called Intuitive Machines built the lander that's expected to arrive at the moon a week from today. It would be the first moon landing for the U.S. in more than 50 years. You may remember another company launched a similar lander last month, but it suffered a fuel leak shortly after launch, and that mission was scrapped.
First, it was late paychecks, and now it's delayed financial aid. Students and parents and employees at St. Augustine's University have reached out to WRAL expressing frustration over financial issues at the HBCU. Parents of St. Aug students say they haven't been able to get answers about financial aid status. One parent who spoke with WRAL told us her daughter is still waiting for financial aid from the fall semester.
It's time now that the university is now held accountable. Please do right by these students. That is all we are asking.
And these claims come a day after WRAL reported about university employees waiting for their paychecks. We reached out to the university for a response, and we were told there would be no comment at this time. A candlelight vigil is planned at the chapel on campus Sunday at 5. Organizers say it's in support of the people affected by the university's financial issues. Coming up, it has been a busy few weeks for the Durham public school community. We'll explain the work being done to try and find solutions to the pay dispute there.
Plus, a man was quick to act when he noticed someone with a gun after the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City. He recounts the quick action that may have taken down that shooter.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Brian Schrader is still tracking quite a few backups on the road, starting with Creedmoor. Brian.
Creedmoor Road still closed north of 540 because of an earlier crash at North Falls Drive that took out a utility pole. The work is continuing out there. Duke Energy crews are trying to repair that pole, get all of the lines out of the road. Not sure when they're going to be able to reopen Creedmoor Road, so consider using Six Forks Road as an alternate route. However, on that southbound side, you're going to run into some very heavy delays coming in from Norwood Road. Around the rest of the triangle, we're seeing some lingering delays on 87 southbound because of an earlier crash right around the 540 interchange. Looking better there, but still look out for some slowdowns. And big delays on 40 eastbound, leaving Hillsborough, heading back toward Chapel Hill. We're measuring about a 40-minute delay now as we deal with a crash right around the New Hope Church Road interchange. Use Highway 86 as a good alternate route. Elizabeth?
It's a little bit cloudy out there in some spots right now. You can see some high, thin clouds here in Apex, a little bit of filtered sunshine. We're going to see more sunshine than cloud cover for the bulk of the day today. We did start with some chilly temperatures. We're still in the 30s in a lot of places, 34 in Lewisburg, 35 in Tarboro, 36 in South Hill. But we started near freezing in most places this morning. It'll be a fast warm up. Our winds will start to kick in out of the southwest this afternoon. That'll bump us up into the mid 60s, making for a really nice afternoon to spend some time outside if you can. Even during the evening hours, temperatures will still be in the mid to upper 50s.
A driver faces felony charges after leading troopers on a high-speed chase that ended in a crash on I-540. The driver was recorded at speeds over 95 miles per hour before crashing near the exit for Buffalo Road. The driver was taken to the hospital but was not badly injured in that accident. Next on Fox 50, what you need to know if you want to vote early for the primary election. And next on Today, Kelly Rowland, live in studio.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's just crazy that this is what the world's come to.
The initial shock has now turned to anger as people call for action after yesterday's shooting in Kansas City. What we know about the shooting after the Super Bowl celebration that left one dead and many others hurt.
Breaking news here in the Triangle this morning. We have a crash that's closed a section of Creedmoor Road in Raleigh and another big delay out on 40 eastbound in Orange County. We'll get you around the backups.
And our temperatures are beginning to warm up after being near freezing this morning. We're going to see a fast warm up this afternoon thanks to some windy conditions. I'll show you what we're looking at coming up.
Today, the Durham Association of Educators will meet with the school board for the first time about ongoing pay issues. Just ahead, what school leaders say could be a potential roadblock for those raises.
8:30 is the time right now on your Thursday morning as we welcome you inside our WRAL studio for news. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Thank you for joining us on this chilly Thursday morning. It's another cold one out there. You need the coat, but you're not going to need the coat later on. It's going to be gorgeous. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner looking over the Bull City right now. It's going to warm up pretty nicely.
And we started cold this morning with our temperatures near freezing, but we are going to warm up fast. The sunshine will help things. Notice we do have some high, thin clouds out over Durham right now, but our wind is going to shift to southerly southwesterly. Right now it's coming out of the southeast up to 8 miles per hour. As that swings around to the south-southwest, it's going to really help to push some warm air into the region. It was a mild day yesterday. It'll be even warmer this afternoon. Right now it's 40 degrees around the triangle, but we're still looking at 34 in Roxborough as well as Rocky Mount. It's 35 in Southern Pines, but we're 39 in Fayetteville right now, 38 in Clinton, 36 in South Hill. So we're going to see those temperatures warming up fast as the wind picks up. The wind has been fairly light this morning, but by lunchtime, we'll see steady winds out of the southwest at about 10 to 15, gusting to 25, and that's what's going to push that warmth into our area. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 66. It'll be about 5 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. It stays nice and pleasant through the evening, but a cold front is on its heels. It arrives just in time for the weekend. It'll bring cooler temperatures and a little rain. I'll walk you through Futurecast coming up. Brian?
8:32 right now, Elizabeth. Let's start off in North Raleigh, where we're following that breaking news. A crash that damaged a utility pole and has closed a section of Creedmoor Road right around North Falls Drive. That is north of 540. Traffic's getting turned around there. It looks like some of the delays between North Falls and Norwood have started to ease up a little bit. Best alternate route till they can get everything reopened is going to be using Six Forks Road from North Raleigh, getting down toward 540. Expect some heavy southbound delays, though, approaching Mount Vernon Church Road. And if you're on Mount Vernon Church Road trying to get to Six Forks Road, some big backups there as well. Again, not sure when they're going to be able to reopen those lanes on Creedmoor Road. Let's take a look around the rest of the triangle and some backups that we're following in Orange County, where we have a crash that closed the left lane of 40 eastbound right around the New Hope Church Road interchange south of Hillsborough. Heavy delays began around the 85 split. It's slow all the way down toward New Hope Church Road and maybe just beyond. Just took a look at some sensor data, and the best alternate route if you're trying to get from Hillsborough to Chapel Hill is going to be picking up 86 and then heading back to New Hope Church Road and rejoining 40 eastbound from there. You will run into a little bit of a delay from New Hope Church Road to the crash site, but they have reopened that left lane, so hopefully we'll see this easing up a little bit, and then from there you can continue your trip on into Chapel Hill into Durham. Take a look at some of those major approaches into Durham, with the exception of that crash over in Orange County. Everything's moving along pretty well. We are seeing some backups in both directions of 885 right now, and a quick check of your major approaches into Raleigh. They're looking okay for the most part. A 9-minute backup coming in from Wake Forest on southbound Capitol Boulevard. Good news, though, on 87 southbound coming in from Knightdale. That earlier crash is cleared, and so have the delays.
All right, thank you, Brian. And breaking news, I-87 in Knightdale back open after a truck crashed through a guardrail. This was the scene from the breaking news tracker at 4 o'clock this morning near Hodge Road. Troopers say the truck crossed the median and crashed through the guardrail on the other side of the road. Luckily, nobody was hurt.
A victory celebration turned into a violent scene in Kansas City, and this morning the big question is still why. The shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade left one person dead and more than 20 others hurt, including 11 children. Police say they have detained 3 people in connection with the shooting. They've not officially announced any arrests or charges. And the FBI has set up a website asking for tips and videos from people who witnessed the shooting.
And the woman who died in the shooting was Lisa Lopez Galvan. She was a DJ at Kansas City radio station KKFI. A friend who spoke with CNN said Lopez Galvan was a mother, and multiple members of her family are among the people who were hurt in that shooting. And the person who tackled a man with a gun moments after the shooting says he did not think, he just acted. And video from the scene shows police detaining the man after that bystander took him down. That bystander, Paul Contreras, describes what happened.
He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground.
Police have not confirmed the person in the video is one of the 3 people they have detained in connection with that shooting. And coming up in 10 minutes, a local security expert weighs in on what you should do in the event of a mass shooting.
A driver led troopers on a high-speed chase in Raleigh. It ended with this fiery crash on I-540. That person is facing at least 1 felony charge. The trooper leading the investigation gave us the update just before 1 o'clock this morning. The crash happened near the Buffalo Road exit around 11 o'clock last night. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on the scene shortly after it happened. The trooper tells us the chase started when he clocked the driver going 95 miles an hour. The speeding car went off the side of I-540 into that tree line. The driver was taken to the hospital but was not badly hurt. The search for a common ground is the goal of the conversation as the Durham School Board and educators meet to come to a solution. It comes after a month of protests and 4 days of school lost over an employee pay dispute. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains this comes ahead of a vote school leaders have planned next week on how to move forward.
The Durham Association of Educators may be one step closer to getting what they want. They requested a meeting with the board about these ongoing pay issues, and that meeting will be happening today here at the Staff Development Center. There have been multiple protests and 4 days of no school for students this past month. Workers are trying to bring attention to these pay issues. Board Chair Bettina Umstead spoke at a news conference yesterday. She explained keeping the July through January raises is not financially sustainable. It's $9 million over budget. We also heard from Interim Superintendent Katty Moore. She says temporary pandemic relief funds are going away, and that impacts their bottom line.
There are a lot of places that we need support and help beyond just DPS and our local commissioners and our communities. There's a statewide obligation to fund staff in schools.
So many factors are playing into this, and today's meeting with the DAE is scheduled for 5:30. The board won't meet again about a long-term solution for this until next week. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
Happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we're going to take you to the North Carolina coast where hearts are heavy in Beaufort County as people say final goodbye to State Highway Patrol Trooper Zachary Martin. He died last weekend after a long battle with cancer at the age of 35. His visitation is today from 3 to 8 p.m. Funeral service is tomorrow. Prior to the Highway Patrol, Martin served as a Beaufort County Sheriff's Deputy as well as a police officer for the town of Belhaven. The commander of the State Highway Patrol says Trooper Martin carried on his fight against cancer with courage, determination, and perseverance. He leaves behind a wife and 2 sons. All right, thanks, Renee. A man is fighting for his life after being shot in the head at a convenience store in Fayetteville. The shooting happened at the Time Saver store on Murkison Road just before 7 o'clock last night. Police say they found the victim when they arrived and he was rushed to the hospital. We are reaching out to investigators to learn more about what led to the shooting.
Today, early voting begins for the March 5th primary. And remember, you will need to bring your driver's license or another approved form of photo voter ID this year. You can cast your vote at any time early at any early voting site in the county where you are registered to vote. Every registered voter can vote in the primary in North Carolina. Republicans and Democrats have to vote in their party's primary, while unaffiliated voters can choose one or the other. Early voting days and times vary according to the county, so you can find that information and see your sample ballot on WRAL.com. Just search voter guide. Today, city leaders in Fayetteville will look at ways to address homelessness and mental health. City Council on Homelessness and the Mental Health Committee will meet at 2 p.m. This meeting comes over a month after city leaders faced backlash over busing several homeless people to Durham during a cold snap. Some complained they didn't know the trip was one way and they would be required to stay at the Mission for an extended period.
Today, Wake County Public Schools will honor its bus drivers. The district is hosting a breakfast for them as part of Bus Driver Appreciation Week. It's happening at 9:30 this morning at East Cary Middle School.
It was a chaotic scene after a chase ended in a crash in Raleigh. Coming up, the shocking age of the driver that led troopers on that high-speed chase across 4 counties.
Plus, you may have heard of snakes on a plane, but have you heard about critters on a plane? Just ahead, what forced a Delta Airlines flight to turn around after passengers started bugging out over what fell from the overhead bin.
And as we head to break, here's a live look in Sanford. Good morning to you as you watch our WRAL live camera network. Just ahead, Elizabeth Gardner will tell us how much warmer we're going to get today.
8:43. Look at this beautiful view. Deep blue sky over Pinehurst at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. A few folks out there enjoying some of this early morning sunshine, but it is chilly out there. Our temperatures in the Triangle have climbed to around 40. Temperatures this morning in Pinehurst were right down around freezing. So we will see a nice warm up this afternoon. It's going to feel great. Temperatures will climb across the viewing area into the mid 60s this afternoon, which is about 5 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. We take a look at temperatures right now in Southern Pines. It's still 35. So it's, Now it's jacket weather, coat weather still. 39 in Fayetteville, 40 in Goldsboro, 40 in Durham, and 34 degrees in Roxborough. But our temperatures will warm up nicely. We'll see a wind shifting to southwesterly this afternoon. It will become breezy, but it will allow our temperatures to warm up. 66 in Raleigh, 65 in Durham, 68 in Fayetteville. And if you're a lover of the spring flowers and the warmth that we start to see in spring, you may or may not be a lover of the pollen, and that is what comes with it. We've just started to see the pollen counts creeping up a little bit, moderate right now for trees. You know, over the next few months, we'll start to see that becoming high and then very high. Weeds and grasses are still low. When do we tend to see the bulk of the tree pollen? It's mainly late March through around the middle of April, but we do tend to see it beginning in February. You can see how we see a little bit of this yellow starts to show up at the end of February into early March. So it's not out of the question to start to see some of those numbers creeping up. You shouldn't really see that coating of yellow tree pollen until we get into early to mid-March, and then it sticks around for, a while, at least a month or so. Satellite and radar looking nice and quiet for us right now. I'm tracking this front, which is going to bring a more winter-like feel for us over the weekend. This afternoon, our winds will be gusting up to 25 miles per hour and steady out of the south-southwest at about 10 to 15. That's going to push some warmth in. It's going to feel really comfortable. 56 is our normal high temperature, but we'll see 66 this afternoon. It will be cooler over the weekend behind the front, Saturday and Sunday in the mid-50s, but our temperatures will warm right back up after that. A good chunk of the country toward the end of February is looking at above normal temperatures, and all that starts to slide our way too. As a matter of fact, we begin to see some of the warmer temperatures again, right around Monday and Tuesday. We're back into the low to mid 60s, looking at 66 for Wednesday. We do have that slight chance of rain late Friday night up near the Virginia line, and then very early Saturday morning with a quick band of showers that come through, but it shouldn't affect most folks' weekend.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. The shooting at the Super Bowl parade in downtown Kansas City has people here in the Triangle thinking about how to respond if something similar were to happen here. WRAL spoke with a security expert who say you should remember 3 words: run, hide, fight. Run if you can. If you can't, look for a place to hide and get low to the ground. If you have no other options, fight. He also says to be aware of your surroundings so you may be able to stop a shooting before it happens.
You're a citizen, you know what normal looks like, and you see something that is abnormal, report it.
He also suggested making a plan with friends and family when attending a large event. That includes identifying a meeting place if something happens and you just need to run.
Chiefs star Travis Kelce is reacting to that shooting at the celebration for his team's Super Bowl win. And Kelce posted to X last night saying, "I'm heartbroken over the tragedy that took place today. My heart is with all who came out to celebrate with us and have been affected. KC, you mean the world to me." Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes also posted to X yesterday, writing, "Praying for Kansas City."
A 13-year-old boy is accused of leading authorities on a high-speed chase through multiple counties, ending with a crash in Raleigh. Sky 5 was over the aftermath Wednesday afternoon. Detectives say this started when someone called reporting a person in a ski mask who stole a car. They then led troopers on a chase through Bladen, Cumberland, Harnett, Johnston, and Wake counties. Authorities say at one point the teenager was driving 100 miles per hour. The 13-year-old driver was taken to the hospital but is not believed to have been injured. Once released, he is expected to be charged.
All right, snakes on a plane. You've heard of the movie. Probably never heard about this critter being on a plane. Check it out. A Delta Airlines flight was forced to turn around after maggots started falling down on people. It happened Tuesday on a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit. Officials say a suitcase had rotten fish wrapped in newspaper and it broke in an overhead bin during takeoff. So Philip Schott was on that flight and he noticed the maggots falling on a woman next to him.
She is freaking out. But yeah, she was just trying to kind of fight off these maggots. I don't really know what was going through her mind. I was trying to process it. Disgust is one thing, of course.
Wow, Phillips said that another man on the plane did claim that bag. It's unclear if the person will face charges. Delta has issued an apology to all passengers and then cleaned the plane promptly. The suitcase was placed in a bag to be burned.
Yuck. Well, former President Donald Trump in New York, where you're looking live right now, is on his way to court for his hush money payment case. Again, this is a live look. Sources say Trump will go to that hearing over another that is happening at the same time in Georgia. Fulton County DA Fani Willis may be testifying about allegations that she had an improper romantic relationship with the top prosecutor in the election interference case against Trump and others. Sources say he liked the idea of seeing her testify, but his advisors argue the New York hearing is more important.
Okay, so that's the other hearing that'll get started in Georgia over the accusations that Willis was involved in an improper relationship with her top prosecutor. Willis and the prosecutor are leading that election interference case against Trump and others, and they are pushing for Willis to be disqualified and for that case to be thrown out.
We have new video into the WRAL Live Center from Japan. The cherry blossom trees there are in full bloom already because of the warm winter they've been having. Normally, they would peak in late March, early April, so this is really early. Temperatures this week in Japan, 60 to 68 degrees, and it's usually not that warm until mid-April. Once the blossoms peak, they last for about 2 weeks. Closer to home in D.C., on average, the cherry blossoms there peak the last week of March. We'll see if that's bumped up.
Renee, I don't know. They're supposed to get snow there this weekend, right? The FBI is joining the search for a missing 200-year-old George Washington painting. Police in Colorado and the FBI's Denver Bureau say someone stole the painting from a storage unit last month. The piece was painted in the early 1800s. Police are not sharing the value of the artwork, but do say it has been in the owner's family for more than 50 years. There is a $2,000 reward for any tips.
In entertainment news, Marvel fans got a nice Valentine surprise this year, and Ariana Grande announces who she's collaborating with next. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with the Hollywood Nation.
How much time do I have? Weeks.
Keaton directs Behind the Scenes with Lopez and a fantastic way to celebrate Valentine's Day in the Hollywood Nation. Marvel fans were given the gift of casting news February 14th. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss-Backrack will star in the studio's superhero film, The Fantastic Four. Marvel posted a photo of the four with a Happy Valentine's Day message, revealing the movie's July 25th, 2025 release date. Ariana Grande announced a new collaboration on her socials. The pop star posted a pic with Mariah Carey, sharing her Yes and remix will feature Carey, who she called the queen of her heart and lifelong inspiration.
Not all love stories have a happy ending.
Prime Video is going behind the scenes with Jennifer Lopez as the star releases her new album and corresponding film, This Is Me Now, A Love Story. It was announced there's also a documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, following the project's creation. It will stream February 27th.
I'm getting worse every hour. It's like a curtain coming down.
In today's First Looks, Michael Keaton headlines and directs the thriller Knox Goes Away. Keaton stars as a hitman attempting to make amends before his recently diagnosed dementia takes over, racing to save his estranged son from a vengeance-fueled mistake. Co-stars include James Marsden, Marcia Gay Harden, and Al Pacino. The film is in theaters March 15th.
I swore I'd never be like you. And here we are.
Ooh, that looks good. That was Ashley Dvorkin reporting. I love it. All right, we'll get ready for one of the biggest NASCAR races of the season. The Daytona 500 is this weekend. The iconic 500-mile NASCAR Cup Series returns to Daytona International Speedway this Sunday. You can catch all the action right here on Fox 50. Coverage begins at 2:30.
Super Bowl of racing on the way. Before we head to break, here are the winning lottery numbers from the EdC Education Lottery on your screen, and we'll get another check on weather and traffic also coming up next.